You read the title, you know what's up. Okay, so Palworld, probably one of the biggest games that has come out as of late. I've been playing quite a lot of it since its release, considering that at the time of me writing this, I have 46 hours of playtime, and it's been out for less than a week. So, I think I have a decent shot at giving my thoughts on it, and considering I've heard about Pokemon fans complaining about it, I think I can give my thoughts on that too. One last thing before we start. This video isn't super important to visually watch, so feel free to do something else while I ramble. Now, with all that out of the way, let us begin. So, I've heard quite a lot of people refer to Palworld as Pokemon with guns, which is a good summary of the game, but I'd hardly call that the main point of the game. If I had to give Palworld a summary, I'd say it's more on the lines of Pokemon Legends Arc. Not to be confused with Pokemon Legends Arceus. Oh no, I mean it's Legends Arceus mixed with Arc Survival Evolved. Considering I have over 300 hours in Arc on PC alone, I played a lot on Xbox, and easily over 1,000 hours in Pokemon games as a whole, I can confidently say it's a better way to describe the game as a whole. Now let's talk about this game's pals, or to simplify, this game's Pokemon. Anyway, they're good. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. Like, you've either got the really cool looking ones, or the really cute ones. And then there's a few that are just kind of weird, but I'm not going to spoil them because, like, I think it's better that you run into them on your own. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that a decent chunk of the pals in this game are stolen designs from Pokemon, which, honestly, I can see. I mean, there's one that's just Eevee but really fluffy, and another that's just Eevee with a different face. Now, sure, copyright is an issue on its own, but personally, I don't think it's such a bad thing that they're similar. I find it almost a fun game on its own to look at a PAL and go, what Pokemon resembles this? Hell, before I bought the damn game, I watched one of my friends play it with a Pokemon Fusion generator on my other monitor. And honestly, I got pretty close at times. But here's the thing. I feel like the PALs being close enough to Pokemon means that people can see them and realize how much better the Pokemon games could be. Like, one major thing to keep in mind is that Palworld is an indie game. It doesn't have the budget of a Pokemon game. And honestly, it's way better than what we've been getting from Nintendo for a while. And when I say Nintendo, I don't mean Game Freak. I doubt Game Freak wants to make a game that's barely finished and runs horribly. They have to meet a deadline with most likely nowhere near enough staff to make the product. So cutting corners is what they have to do. Now look at Palworld, a game that's had years to be made, but still looks and plays phenomenally. While yes, Palworld is buggy, it's still in early access. And to really think about that for a moment, it's an early access, meaning it's not done yet. They have plans to add so much more, and the game's already great with what it has now. Now, I know I just rambled about how great Palworld is, but let me get in depth on some of my issues with it. Like I said, still early access. So a lot of these are bound to be fixed later on, which I get. But still, I like to complain. So I shall. So to start, the controls can be a bit annoying at times. Specifically, the controls based around the PALs, which is like the point of the game. You throw out a PAL with E, and throw out a PAL sphere, this game's Pokeball, with Q. Two buttons that are really easy to fat finger. I have accidentally thrown my fair share of good PAL spheres. Also, switching between PALs is 1 and 3, while scroll wheel is your items. I feel like you should be able to swap those around, because most games let you use hotbar keybinds for your items, and scroll wheel is probably better for your PALs anyway. Now, if I, as in me, were to change the buttons to something else, what would I choose? Well, that's hard to decide. Like, Q and E do make sense, I just don't like them that much. I could see R and Tab being better, because they're still close enough to your reach with your left hand while not being close enough to fat finger, and making E the interact button because it's F for some reason, which has really messed me up in several other games. But the issue is that Tab is the inventory button, so what would that be? I could see F being it, if the other controls are swapped like I said. I would love to try these controls, but unfortunately there's simply no option to change like half the buttons. Another issue I have with the game is the lack of railings, which I know is a really tiny complaint, but still. I have made 2 bases in different worlds that would look really good with railings, but unfortunately I have to use benches for that, which, while not terrible, aren't exactly great. I mean, come on, they're way too short to be good at keeping you safe. Clearly an OSHA violation waiting to happen, come on. Anyways, those have been my initial thoughts on Palworld. For now. I'll probably make more videos on Palworld in the future, if I don't burn myself out, that is. We will have to wait and see. Anyway, I've been Anthaznar. Subscribe if you enjoyed, I guess, and bye.